Gracefully and Frankly is sponsored by Sierra Sil. Why are you living with joint, especially knee pain, when there are supplements out there that cost about $1 a day and will actually guarantee you'll see a difference in your pain management within 14 days of starting or your money back? You don't have to live in pain. Sierra Sil is all natural relief, and you've got nothing to lose but the pain.
Go visit them online, sierrasil.com, SIERRASIL.com, and save 10% with the code GF.
Well, here we go. Episode 99. Your emotional support Canadians are being a little emotional ourselves today. We just recorded this yesterday. Still trying to shake off the news, but we will shake it off, and we'll also dive in a little bit. I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt, wondering what to do with my Kamala Cat Lady t-shirt and whether Maya Rudolph still has a job on Saturday Night Live.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. And please God, don't be sitting at the piano playing Hallelujah like Kate McKinnon did after the election in 2016.
Right.
Well, we'll see what happens on SNL this weekend. It seems to be the least of our troubles. But yes, we're going to talk realistically about our feelings, perhaps yours, and also try and be a little uplifting on other subjects this week, including a movement that happened this week around the world of women holding hands with each other virtually. Maybe so we didn't bite our nails off. I don't know.
We also have a wonderful email that brings us back to our Facebook Live. We have a couple of PS stories to share with you surrounding Erin's visit here and about the Facebook Live, and the email that was prompted by something we told then, too.
Yeah, it was such a good time. If you haven't watched episode 98, please go to YouTube. Lisa, where do they find it again?
YouTube. Gracefully and Frankly YouTube channel is where it is. I don't know. Some people have a way with words, as Steve Martin says. Other people not have way. Anyway.
That's right. Oh, my goodness. We are trying to find the words this morning. YouTube, smartass. And if you're having trouble sleeping these days, that's okay. You're not alone, but we can help you. We can. And it's through our Envy pillow. There with you thick and thin. Actually, thick and thin, it's adjustable. You can have your Envy pillow thicker or thinner if you want.
That's right. It comes with this extra piece of foam that allows you to thickify it. I like it thinner. A lot of people like it thicker.
Thickify. And I'm the one not with words. Okay. Thickify.
And you have the choice of how you'd like to have it. And the great thing is that when your neck is supported, like if you're like me with a neck injury, how many times have I said that? I apologize. But when you are being properly supported and you don't have the pain, you sleep better. It's good for your skin. It's ecologically friendly. And there are just so many positive attributes about this wonderful pillow created by two RNs, Kathy and Kim, at envypillow.com. Check them out. Check out all of their stuff. It's pillows and more.
ENVYpillow.com. And don't forget to use the code GF for 10% off. You ready? Let's go. We're gonna put on a show. We don't feel like putting on a show,
but we're gonna do it anyway because we're professional.
With a kick line. And Lisa forgot her underwear. Is that so wrong?
Is that so wrong? Is that bad?
Oh my gosh. Okay. What are we gonna do? We're recording this on Wednesday at about 2 p.m. Eastern time. So, yeah, super fast turnaround on the podcast this week because we wanted to be able to talk about what happened in the USA on Tuesday night. How do we do this without swearing?
Yeah, I mean, you probably stayed up. I woke up and saw what happened, and it's just like plucking a balloon. The air all sort of came out of the day.
Yeah, I did stay up until about 2 a.m. 5 o'clock your time. I was watching people waking up in Europe to the news and folks who were watching in Australia and that sort of thing. And I guess I am in some sort of a positivity bubble when I'm on Threads because it feeds you the comments that you like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, as Rob said Tuesday night, maybe just watching MSNBC didn't really give us a full picture of what was going on in the United States. But, oh, Lisa,
This is the thing with our social media bubbles. We create our own bubbles, whether it's a MAGA bubble or a liberal bubble or whatever it is. And we have to always remember how much is happening outside of our bubbles. It's not always a good thing, but you can create a world that seems like the world, and it's definitely not. I think America has decided what it is, and this time we have to believe it. I've heard a lot of people saying things like, oh, well, this vote didn't get out and these people didn't get out. No. This is democracy at work, and we have to believe them this time. They want racism. I mean, there are a lot of wonderful people in the USA, and of course it isn't everybody, but the democracy spoke and said, we want the rich guys to get richer, racism and sexism to prevail.
Oh, yeah, the misogyny is real.
Yeah, it's
God.
definitely real. And it's bigger than the other side. And I think we have to believe that's what it is this time, instead of always qualifying it, saying, oh, well, if only this had happened. No, this is how democracy works. They said this is what they want. It's what they want. That's how I see it.
Well, I will, just for a moment, don my tinfoil hat. And yeah, I know it's aluminum foil, but nobody says that. And say that when it was confirmed Tuesday night right away by the FBI that Russia was emailing in the bomb threats to Democratic area polling stations, we know that Russia had a role in 2016. And this time you've got Elon Musk, who is in control of satellites and everything else. Again, I know conspiracy theories are for people who don't understand anything. But I think we would be absolute idiots to not think that there is a whole lot more at play, because who benefits most from this? Not the American people who are going to spend $4,000 a year more because of Trump's tariffs on things coming in. Certainly not the working class, not even the general population who are now, how are you ever going to find anyone to pick your avocados and your lettuce and your strawberries? But all apart from that, who benefits? Putin. He's been given carte blanche to go into Ukraine, take it over. Who's next? Your beloved Poland, Finland, all of the European countries in NATO. Who's next, Lisa? And that's really what's at play, because Putin is the big winner from Tuesday night.
The quote from Arlene Dickinson from a couple of Mondays ago when we were in Toronto really stuck with me when she was talking about why so many people get caught up in the Make America Great Again bullshit slogan, because there are a lot of people. I mean, you even see it when it comes to decorating. Oh, I can't imagine a different color in this room. I can't imagine something. There are a lot of people who can't imagine the future, but they can remember the past, and they can remember it with rose-colored glasses and a distorted chicken in every pot. Everybody had a job. We all had houses type of distortion. And so she says that's why that whole rhetoric works, because it's not about anything except playing with the fact that you can't imagine the future. I understand the whole Russian involvement. I get all that too. I know, but this is the system we've got. You know, remember when we used to do radio ratings the old way, where the ratings people would send out a loony or a toonie, and we lived and died on whether or not these people filled out the diary accurately to say who they listened to. And how many times they would go a loony, and I've got to keep a diary for a week, and they'd toss it to their kid, and their kid's radio station would get all the credit, you know. Yep. But it's the system we're stuck with, and we either throw it out or we have to accept it. And I don't like it, but I'm actually feeling a little bit positive about all of this, because we survived it once. It's not the end of the world. We'll survive it again and move on. It's not happy news.
This time there's no guardrails, Lisa. Everyone in his cabinet stood up and said, no, do not put this man back in again. Prominent Republicans stood up and said, don't do it. Economists stood up and said, don't do it. And yet here it is. You are right. You're right about all that.
Well, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to cope.
Right? Yeah.
I'm just trying to find a way to cope and say, you know what? We're resilient. We're not American. We will be affected by it, of course. But I mean, it's just, I don't think I'm over the shock of it yet still. Yeah. Every time somebody said, oh no, Kamala's going to get in, I'd say, don't forget what happened last time. But here we are, and I don't feel any better. So
yeah, a woman can run a flawless campaign. She can be smart, accomplished, beautiful, doesn't matter, but she is, and just run the perfect campaign and still can't win. So what does that tell you about Gilead? What does that tell you? It has always been this way for women, and it appears it always will be.
It's so true. We could go on, and we promised that we were going to try and be not so political and not so Debbie Downer, but I think it's how people are feeling, and it really can't be helped. So we'll move on. Life will get better. If nothing else, he'll be entertaining.
Oh, God, don't say that. He's going to get the hook very soon from the 25th Amendment. They'll say Grandpa's dropped his basket, and it'll be J.D. Vance so fast it would make George Washington's wooden teeth start on fire. This is what's going to happen. Again, I sound all foil hat, but it's a big plan. He's got the billionaire Peter Thiel behind him. It's all a billionaire's boys club, Lisa.
Well, that I understand. You know, I used to be afraid of Mike Pence becoming president. And now, compared to J.D. Vance, Mike Pence seems like a dream come true, even if he wouldn't be alone in a room with me to talk, because it would be...
Yeah, Mother wouldn't like it.
Yeah, Mother wouldn't like it.
Just wait.
Oh, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. It's all you can do. Makes me wonder, how hard it is for women to get into politics, why a woman would do it. I mean, we need more women leaders, but to say to a woman, put yourself through this, go do it, please, for the rest of us, just sounds like such a tall, awful order.
Yes, and that hit home for me a few weeks ago. I don't want to give too much away because it's national politics, but I was approached very kindly by someone who had worked in Toronto, and she's moved to the island, and she knows me, and she knows this riding, and asked me if I would consider having my name put in to run for the riding here on Vancouver Island. Now, there are a number of reasons why anyone in this riding would not win. For one, it's got a very long-time stalwart MP, and the party is one that is reviled by a lot of the country right now. I don't know if I have to narrow it down anymore. It could be any of them, really.
Yeah.
I think it came on the heels of me saying somewhere in social media, we're here in Canada, but what can we do? And we'll talk about emotional support Canadians in a little bit, too. It's pretty heartwarming. But that may have been what triggered her to get in touch with me. So while I was with you, while I was in Ontario, while I was listening to Arlene Dickinson and Tony Chapman and some really bright minds talking about politics, I had a few epiphanies. One of them was, I am so out of my depth. I don't know enough about Canadian politics to enter the ring. I know that hasn't stopped a lot of people. But here's another thing, and it really, I think it was something I agreed with or posted in the very friendly climes of Threads, which is not like X, Elon Musk's toxic dump now where fair conversation goes to die. But it was something that was positive toward one of the political leaders, and I got piled on. And I was like, no. From personal insults to vitriol about the politician to just absolute poison. And I said to Rob, and we agreed, that putting myself in that ring, the ring with the dust and the blood and the dirt that Brene Brown talks about so beautifully from a speech by Teddy Roosevelt, is that it would kill me. It would literally kill me. I have the stamina, but I don't have the thick skin. I mean, you and I both spent our entire careers, going back to what you said about diaries, looking for likes. Like me, listen, raise our ratings.
Yep.
What can I do? How can I not offend you? How can I seem to bring you in and agree with you, even if I don't? How can I apologize if you're offended by something that in a way that I misspoke?
Yes.
So I had to tell her no. And then I thought, look, I'm 62.
Right.
I've got so much fuel left in my tank, but is this how I want to spend a couple of my years, being hated for my beliefs or my faith in someone else? So I'm a hypocrite, but I'm realistic. What this party needs, what all our party needs, what our country needs is for passionate youth, smart people who all have a stake in the country and not just what's important to them personally. Oh, I offered to help write speeches and to help with their media, to help be speech givers, because that's kind of what I do. As you just heard, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I want to know why you say you're a hypocrite.
Because I thought of all of the people who were knocking on doors. Kamala got people across the United States knocking on doors, going door to door. This is why I can't believe the numbers are real, Lisa. Because unless people were just flat out being lied to. It's like those diaries you go back to. We knew people were listening to CHFI or 680 News, but they wrote down CBC because it made them look good.
That's right. They had no idea how important it was. We lived and died on those. Jobs were lost on those things.
Right.
So I get it. Okay, I know what you're saying, and I would love to see more women, more younger women in politics, and yet I want to cover them with my feathery wing and tell them to save themselves at the same time because of what they're inevitably going to go through. Just being in that fishbowl is enough to get you hated with such awful, horrible. It's just people can be just so awful and forget you're a human being and act as if the width of a sidewalk is a life and death situation. Whatever it is that's in front of them at the moment is just absolute insanity. So I'm totally with you in not doing it. I'm glad you're not going to do it because you cannot be fully protected from the negativity and the vitriol. And they will come at you personally, and they will come at Rob, and they would probably even attack your dogs online. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the bullshit that people in politics have to go through. Somebody wrote on something I wrote, Doug Ford should be tarred and feathered. And I refuse to like it because I know it's just a saying. But do you know what it's like to roll somebody in hot tar and then roll them in feathers? I mean, you're torturing them. That's a horrible thing to do to a human. I don't find it funny. Maybe I'm taking it too literally, but we've got to somehow get back to some sort of civility.
I'm sorry, that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
And I think social media is so much to blame. All of the keyboard warriors who would never, ever say it to your face. Tell the story about you being in the store the other day with your Kamala Cat t-shirt. And I have to tell you about that t-shirt, too. We've got so many little stories that are uplifting here. Please stay with us.
Yeah, so a guy with a MAGA hat, he must have been, I don't know, he had to be at least 6'4". So he was towering over everybody, and he had a MAGA hat on. I had my Kamala Cat Lady t-shirt. It's her name spelled out in cats. The same one you had on, because I bought them both for us. And he just waved me past. And I thought for just a split second, wouldn't it be great if we took a picture together? It's a day or two before the election, just the two of us, his MAGA hat, my Kamala shirt. But he had a look on his face like he could not wait to get out of there. It was a very busy store, and I do not blame him one bit. So I thought, you know what? I don't think I'm going to go talk to the stranger right now. But I thought it would have been a really neat moment. And to me, that's how we should exist. He's got this hat on. I think we would never get along politically or anything like that. He's looking at my shirt thinking I'm a whatever. And yet he was polite and let me through, and I said thank you, and we went on with our lives. We didn't have to make it anything bigger than it was. Okay, that's a little airy-fairy, but that's the kind of world that I want to live in.
Yeah.
Where if we're not going to change people's minds when they're super conservative or want to have women repressed or what it is they want to do, but Could we just keep religion out of things and maybe just tolerate each other?
Well, the religion thing, yeah, that's huge too. The old separation of church and state is going out the stained glass window in the U.S. There's no question about that. So, again, to the uplifting.
Okay.
On Monday, I posted a picture of myself with the Kamala t-shirt on and my pearls and said, "Your emotional support Canadian is here for you." Well, that whole thing took off. In fact, if I look at it right now, I'll just find it here on Threads and see just how many likes that thing got, because I have never had anything that's gone like this. And so here it is, 13,300, okay? 13,300 likes. And the reason that's big is all over the world, from Australia to Zambia, all got online and said, "We are here for you. We are here for you. We are here for you." And there were so many women who said they were in tears to feel the support of their sisters around the world. It was really so heartwarming. It was just a moment, and it was lovely. And this is why you should get on threads.net if you're tired of X or Twitter or whatever it's called, and Elon Musk and that insanity. Threads is really kind of a special place, and when somebody comes in and craps all over, I don't hesitate to block them. But you know what I couldn't keep up with blocking on Monday night? The porn bots. The porn bots.
What?
Oh, my God. All of these women with triple G busts or booties they bought on Temu, shimmying for the camera, and just one after another after another. So I reported and blocked about 100 of them, Lisa.
No kidding.
They climb on something that's a little bit, climb on. They will get on something that's a little bit viral and then just inundate anybody who commented. So that's what I was doing Monday night. I don't know why.
Sure. Well, and you were popular in the moment, and so they thought you would be easy pickings, and if not you, then the people who follow you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes. It's all bots and everything, as we know.
Of course, yeah.
Hey, Easy Pickens, wouldn't that be a great dermatologist name? Never mind. I'm just thinking of our facials last week.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more of a porn name, but anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Easy Pickens.
Woohoo! It's just her banjo in her tooth. Good girl. Okay. We should talk a little bit about the T-shirts that we were wearing for our Facebook Live. Does that not seem like 100 years ago now? It was 6 days, Lisa.
Just about.
Right?
It is 100 years ago because we didn't pull an all-nighter, but we were up late that night and driving, and it was so much fun. The T-shirts were something that I made with my new cricket outfit, and you and I have been going back and forth on the design, and we just thought they turned out kind of cool, so we decided to wear them.
Yeah, and they are short-sleeved. I had a long-sleeved shirt underneath it. But next week on episode 100, we're going to tell you a little bit more about the T-shirts. It turns out that Lisa has been a very busy bee for Brant, and some exciting news there. Plus, we're also going to tell you how you can take part in the show, a way to send us your voice and your comments in your voice, instead of us always reading your emails. And we have a terrific one this week from Norma, but to take part in the show. So that's what episode 100 is going to be about. Now, we have got to tell the story of the Saturday morning trip to the airport. Let me set the table here.
Please do.
Friday night, we finished the Facebook Live at 8 o'clock, had our go bags ready to go like we were in labor and headed off to the hospital. But no, we got in the car and drove the 2 hours to Burlington. Both of us just as high as kites because it went so well. And an hour is a lot of adrenaline, an hour live, right?
Yes, it is.
So we checked into this nice budget hotel. Shout out to the Comfort Inn in Burlington and Lindsay, who was at the front desk. She was just terrific. We got a room on ground level. We backed right into toward the sliding glass door so we could get our little bags in.
Yeah.
And then we made the massive mistake of watching the Facebook Live.
That's right.
because we were so excited.
Yeah, we sat there in bed like it was a sleepover, which it was. I cuddled up in your bed and we watched it. We did that till what time? I don't even know what time it was.
Like midnight, which to you is an all-nighter.
Right.
And then, of course, my alarm was set for 7:30. So, 7:15, I awaken, and you're just awake, which is great.
Yeah.
That's really sleeping in for you.
It is.
And I go to my phone. Now, the plan was I didn't have to be at the airport until 10 o'clock for an 11 o'clock flight. That was the plan.
Right.
So you are Miss Preparedness. I'm always kind of like, I like to get there at the last minute because I'm not stressed enough, Lisa. I do this to myself. It's a sickness. So we're all ready. You've gone out on a coffee run, bless your heart.
Yeah.
And it's about 20 after 8, and I'm looking and I'm checking Porter to see if my flight's on time. Yep, it's on time for a 10 o'clock departure.
Yeah.
And I looked at it because the day before when I had checked in online, I saw 10 a.m. My calendar in the computer said 11 a.m. But 10 a.m., I thought, that's when I have to be checked in by. No, that's when they close the doors and you better be in your seat because it's leaving. So I don't even remember what I said to you at 20 after 8. Do you?
I think it was something like, oh. And I said to you, well, it's a good thing we're almost there because we had done 3/4 of the drive. We only had a half hour. So it really wasn't a panic or anything, but we had to get our asses in gear and get moving.
We did. And your GPS said we would be there in 28 minutes. We were there at 9:02. They were terrific at checking me in. And then it is a long, long walk to the B20 gate. Yeah. I sailed through the security because I have a Nexus card. Everything just went tick, tick, tick. Sat down in the waiting area in the terminal, and I was sitting for about 5 minutes before they started boarding us. So, phew, I can't believe it because all the way there, it's like, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to panic. We're just fine. We're fine.
It's pretty funny, though, that you were just so sure. And we had plenty of time. It really wasn't a panic. It was just that no more lollygagging. Let's get out in that car and get moving. So,
oh my God.
And the other thing is you didn't have to sit in the lounge for a long, long time getting annoyed by other people. You could get on the plane and get annoyed by other people,
People in the lounge who are listening to devices without earbuds or headphones. Yeah, those people. Or having conversations on their speakerphone sitting right next to you. That's fun, too.
Yeah.
But all in all, it just went so well. I'm so grateful for your hospitality. And our email this week is about a story we told about travel last week in our Facebook Live. Remember we were talking about the train ride?
Yes, of course.
Norma McCleverty. She is a great longtime listener, correspondent. She said, I had the biggest laugh when you were discussing getting on and off a VIA train. The Golden Girls are amazing, loving, and caring friends. 2 have gone. Now the 2 left are the dynamic duo. Could hardly contain ourselves a few years ago when we were treated to a ride on CP's holiday train when it stopped nearby. Well, the first dear friend tried to climb the stairs, couldn't make it. She goes on, a delightful young male employee came over to us and asked if he could help, but he wasn't supposed to touch anyone. I can totally understand that, right, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So she replied, just give all of us a push, otherwise the train will be delayed. Well, you can imagine the laughter. Did he indeed give us a push? Well, what happens on the CP holiday train stays on the CP holiday train. Thanks to you both for a very entertaining Saturday morning, our Facebook Live on YouTube, with a delicious hot coffee.
Wonderful. Yeah, the CP holiday train is amazing, but my goodness, if you ask a young man to touch you, he should.
If he offers. Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, we're so happy to end this episode on an uplifting note. There are always reasons to laugh. But can you watch late night television for the next while, Lisa? Like, are we all going to just kind of cocoon ourselves away from even trying to laugh at any of this?
I think I'll have to watch my Jimmy Kimmel, and just see how he handles it. But I just feel like a turtle crawling into her shell for a little bit right now. It just seems like overload, doesn't it?
It does. Well, fortunately, in that shell, you've got your envy pillow. I've got my Sierra Sil. And we'll both be back with you next week for episode 100. Don't miss it.